Hi, my name is Nicole K-Rod, and I have been with MSSM Summer Camp for 17 years. And this year is no different. So we're bringing you some videos of how to do things. And today I'm going to teach you some origami. So if you're like me, you're at home and you don't necessarily have any origami paper right there. So there's several things at home that you might use. A couple things that I have here is I have the Shaw's ad. So that's one thing. That newspaper works really well. I have just a magazine that you could use, or if you just have a white piece of paper. It does not have to be origami paper. If you have origami paper, great, but you do not need that. The other thing that you will need is a pair of scissors, so that way you can cut things and get your paper to the right size. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my document camera so that way you can see what I'm going to be doing here. And I've got my paper. This is my 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom edge and I'm going to fold it up to the side edge so that I'm making a triangle. And I want to make sure that I'm doing a really good job of lining things up and making it match up so that way this side is lining up with this side. And I'm making a really good crease. And then what you're going to notice is that I have this left over right here. This is where I'm going to cut that off because that's the part that I don't need because I'm going to be able to make a square out of this. So once I cut that off and then open it up, you're going to notice that it makes a square. Okay, and that's what we're going to use. You could use this as a template. So if you wanted to use your magazine, you could make one that's a little bit smaller and put that over it, or you could also do it with your Shaw's ad and just trace it and cut it out. But you need to start with a square. The little strip of paper that you have left over, you could absolutely fold that just like we did before with that triangle matching up to one of the sides. And you want to take the time to really match it up. That's one of the key pieces in origami. And fold it. And now you have another place that you can cut off. And when you open that up, you have another square. So you have a little bit of extra that you can work with that. We're going to do unit origami. And what unit origami is it needs one piece of paper folded in the same exact way to put all of those together to make a figure. So we're going to make a cube to start, and then if you want to keep going, you could make a stellated octahedron. So stella means stars, so it has points, and octa means 8. So stellated octahedron means that it has 8 stars around it. So we're going to make just one unit, and then after we make one unit, we will make 6 others like that because we're going to start with the cube. Now, what's important about this is that you are going to have the same size paper. So I'm going to start with this right here. You're welcome to start with big pieces of paper, but you need 6 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have 6. And so I'm just folding that one more time. So I've got this, and I'm cutting it. And now I have 2, and I'm going to fold it again. So some of the most important things with origami before we fold is that you're matching things up and you're making them so that they line up really well. You're also going to make sure that you fold your creases really well. Those are 2 big, huge parts of origami, and especially with this unit origami, if you are not folding your papers well, then at the end, when you're trying to put all 6 pieces together, it actually won't come out. So you want to make sure that you take the time to really fold it. I'm going to go back to my document camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with my one piece of paper, and I'm going to fold it in half. And again, I'm really going to make sure that I match up that line. I have a good crease. And then once I have that folded in half, I'm going to open it back up. We do that a lot in origami. And then you'll see, and I'm going to draw on mine. You don't have to draw on yours, but it doesn't show up on the camera, so it'll make it a little bit easier. You'll see a crease right down the middle. What you're going to do is you're going to take this edge and you're going to fold it up, and you are going to fold it into that crease. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees, so a full 180, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. And now I have what I like to call just a little like door, okay? Once you have that, you're always going to work on the right side. So make sure that you're always doing that. When we rotate, we're going to work always on the right side. I'm going to open up my little door. And again, you should see, I'm going to write it so that you can see it on the camera, but you don't have to draw the line. You should see your folds there, okay? When you fold this next fold, we're going to take and make what I call an airplane fold, paper airplane fold, and you're going to fold it up so that that edge matches up to that crease, okay? We're going to make a second fold where we're taking this edge and we're matching it up to that crease. And we want to really take the time to line those up, okay? At any point, if this is tough, you can always hit pause, go back and check in and see it again. I'm going to now shut this door, so I'm shutting that door. And then I'm going to rotate 90 and then 180. And again, we're going to be working on the right side, okay? So I'm going to open up the door, and you should see your crease that you made. I'm going to draw mine so that you can see it. And I'm doing the same exact thing I did on the other side. So I'm going to fold up, and then I'm going to fold again. And then I'm going to close the door. So now what I have is I have a folded line here and a folded line here. You should still be seeing that. And I'm going to come up a little bit closer so you can see that. So this is what it should look like, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I have one side that doesn't have paper left, it only has one layer, and another side that has both layers. I'm going to take this side, and again, I'm going to do that airplane paper fold where I take the side and I match it up to the top. So I'm going to take this side and I'm matching it up to the top, making a 90-degree isosceles triangle right there. So that means two triangles where they have the same sides and there's a 90-degree angle. And then on the same side, on the opposite side over here, same with where there's paper, I'm going to fold this one down. And now you have like these two little flaps. I'm going to come a little bit closer to my camera. So I have these two little flaps, and what I'm going to do is there's little pockets here that I'm going to poke them into. So see how those poke into that little spot right there? I just put them behind that, and I'm going to do that on both sides, where this one goes behind here. And so now I have a parallelogram. A parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. It has two pairs of equal sides. It has two opposite but equal angles. So that is a parallelogram, and it's important that you know that it's not a rhombus, because a rhombus has all four equal sides. This is the side that I tucked all those pockets in. I'm actually going to flip it over, and you should see the crease down the middle. I'm going to take this point over here, and I'm going to match it up to the point that's adjacent to. So I'm going to take this, and match it up and make my fold. I'm going to do the same thing where I rotated it 180 degrees. I take this point and I'm going to match it up to the adjacent point. And now you should have a square for 90-degree angles, for equal sides. It's got little pokey kind of little things flapping out, but this is our unit, okay? This is what we're going to build 6 of in order to make our cube. So I'm going to continue and make 6 of these. You can either rewind and get the directions one more time, or if you've got it, keep going. You need to make 6 of them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one thing that you should know is that all 6 of your pieces of paper should sit on top of each other so that they're exactly the same. If you have one that's different, it's going to be really hard to put it together. Okay? So now that you have 6, I'm going to come back and kind of use these 6. So you should have 6 pieces of paper. And I'm going to start with 2. And on this piece of paper, you should see points. And then there's little pockets on that front face. So this, like right here, is a little pocket. And in order to put your square together, your cube, you're going to put a point inside a pocket. And see how it's making that cube face? And so if I have another piece, I am going to put my point in my pocket, and then you'll notice this little guy wants to go into that pocket. It's hard to show the camera and do it, so I'm going to start it and then show you. So see how it went right into that pocket, and then I'm just going to keep adding pieces. And now this one's going to go into this pocket. And when I do that, it's going to allow, now this one wants to go in to that pocket right there. And you're going to keep adding pieces until you've got it. I am going to switch back and see if I can't show you a little bit better on my other camera. So here is my point. And here's a pocket. So I'm going to stick that right in the pocket. And then you'll notice that these 2 want to go into the pockets right here. I'll push that in there. And I'm going to push that in there. And now I have, oh, this one came out of its pocket. That's going to happen. So if that happens, just kind of put it right back in. And then I got 2 more. I want to make sure that I don't hide these. I want to flip them up, put this across, and then put my points in the pockets on the side. And then the points over here. And then tuck these in. And then I have a cube. So you can kind of see. Another way to make this too is you could use sticky notes. They're already your nice size square so that you have that. And then you could use different colors if you don't have origami paper. If you keep going and you make 12 of these, then you can then put them into a stellated octahedron. I am Nicole K. Rod, and this has been Unit Origami. I hope you have fun making a cube, or if you keep going, a stellated octahedron.